Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 23 of the podcast. I am Megan, and I am grateful to get to share this space with you as I continue to share what has happened in our life since Michael's injury. Today's episode is more of a very specific little story memory. Again, it's on the heavier side. Thanks for choosing to be here. And we'll just dive right in. So last summer is where we're in the story right now, summer of 2024. Michael is home. We got 3 invitations from family and dear friends to join them for summer vacation last year. And it was amazing. It was amazing because there wasn't any way that I was able to plan or take vacations. I love doing it. My kids love doing it. Michael loves doing it, but I could not handle the family us. I couldn't handle doing a vacation. So to get an invitation to one was like a local staycation at a beach house with my side of the family. The next one was a week with Michael's family, and then a week in the Outer Banks with some of our dear, dear friends. So that was just, it was incredible to get to have the opportunity to still have a summer on the coattails of a traumatic spring. But there's this one particular part of all of this that I don't want to miss, and I want to make sure I document that. So Michael, just kind of historically in the Daubert family, he is our instigator of things. He's our planner. He is the one that gets the ball rolling, gets ideas in progress, and makes things happen. So true to form, Michael wants to plan this trip to Chincoteague, Virginia. And if you know Chincoteague, you love it. It is the home of the annual pony swim, where the cute little ponies swim like from Assateague Island all the way across the water to Chincoteague, where the saltwater cowboys care for the wild ponies and just count them. They do other things. So maybe do your research better than me, but it's really lovely and fun. And it's this quaint little town on the Eastern Shore. And that's Chincoteague. So let me back up a little bit further. In 2023, Michael and I took each of our children to like a trip or an experience, just one-on-one. Carmen, our daughter, her experience last summer was with Michael, or last summer, I'm sorry, summer of 2023 was with Michael. He drove her to the day trip to the Chincoteague Pony Swim. They went really early in the morning. They drove up to Chincoteague and got to experience the pony swim. They did the carnival. They did the full shebang and they loved it. Carmen loves horses. So she just, they tried to win the raffle to get a pony to send up to their cousins' houses. It was just the sweetest thing. She was so happy. She brought everybody t-shirts home and she talked about it for the next year. And so Michael says, hey, let's plan a family trip to Chincoteague, a Daubert family. So his parents and all his siblings and all our children come to Chincoteague together, and let's make like a week out of this thing. So Michael sends an email to our whole family on February 5th, the day of his accident. It was the last email that we all got from him. He sent it at 3:28 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's just this email that is full of life and intention and joy and his vibrancy. And you can see he is he has an itinerary of, hey fam, this is what I would love to see happen. Here's what we need. I found these 2 rental homes. Here's a way we can see the ponies. Let's look into this charter boat. Let's look into these restaurants. Here's activities that we could do for fun on this night. He just listed out the whole vacation. So like Michael, and kind of just what we needed. We just wait around, right, for somebody to invite you to the fun and then we all join along. He was the instigator, and he, true to form, sent that email out on February 5th. And I was just looking back at the email right before I pressed record, and it just brings me to tears because it's just him in writing form. And I haven't seen it since, right? I haven't gotten any emails from him since this one planning email to take our family to Chincoteague. So he sends that email out, and then we know from our story, 5 hours later, goes into cardiac arrest. And loses his memory, right? So fast forward to 5 months later, during that time in the hospital. Okay, I said fast forward. Now back to the time in the hospital. So all the Daubers have received that email. We all eventually realize, whoa, Michael just planned a trip for us. Like, we got to do this in honor of him. And once it became clear that Michael was going to make it, the Dauberts, I think, ran with that idea and like booked the house and like, hey, we're going to do this. And this was all happening unbeknownst to me. I was not aware of these plans. Super happy that they happened. I just obviously did not even have the margin to be planning anything while Michael was in the hospital and I was figuring out our new life. So that happened and it was so precious. And Tirza, she's the oldest niece on that side of the family. And she's a beautiful artist. She created this painting for Michael's hospital room. And it was a sunset Chincoteague pony swim. Like it was gorgeous. And on the back, she had this note written like, "Dear Uncle Michael, I can't wait to go to Chincoteague with you." And it was just like this beautiful note from her. And it said, but if we don't get to go, like, I understand and it'll be okay. Thank you for planning it anyway. Just, oh my goodness, it was the sweetest thing. It was in his room. We took it to Atlanta with us and I still have it. So Chincoteague, it's a big deal, right? Michael and Carmen share this bond over that moment in 2023. The last thing Michael did was plan a family vacation, sent that email out the day of his accident. And then in the hospital, when it became clear that Michael would survive, the Dauberts were like, yes, we're going to need this. Let's have something fun to look forward to that all the nieces and nephews can get excited about. And it was really beautiful and wonderful to have those plans. So that was all in effect. And I think I've mentioned before, like our kids' journey with this idea of ambiguous loss and ambiguous grief was more delayed than mine because Michael and I were in the hospital for 3 months. So they did not get dad at home for 3 months to really see all the changes that had happened. So by the time July hits, now the kids are just about 3 months into having been living with dad at home and getting this concept of, oh, this is so different. This is not what we expected. What has happened? So the night before we were to leave to go to Chincoteague, we're tucking the kids in. Michael would come in at bedtime and he knew to like say goodnight to the children. I came back into Carmen's room to find her in absolute tears, just crying on her bed, tucked in. And I was like, what happened? What happened? Come to find out, Michael had come in and on her wall art, she had 3 big canvas pictures of 3 portraits of me and Michael and baby Carmen from, early, what was that, when was she born? 2011, 2012. They were on her wall. And at that night, he looks up and he's, it's like, oh, I love those pictures. Where are they from? And to be Carmen, having your dad come tuck you in, but then to look at the wall and look at the family pictures of you, baby you, with your mom and your dad, and him be like, tell me about these photos. The thoughts that must have gone on in her mind, it was just too heartbreaking for her, especially like it was on the eve of us going to Chincoteague. So it had been a year since she and Michael had done that. And now a year later, he doesn't remember these pictures of her being a baby, like doesn't remember where they were taken, couldn't figure out how old she was, all these things that matter to Carmen, like they're on her bedroom wall, they matter to her, right? And I think she brings up Chincoteague and he holds no memory of their father-daughter trip together, none at all. We have pictures, but he cannot, he's excited about the trip that we're about to take, but he can't dig into your memory and like share in that anticipation that Carmen has, like knowing, hey, this is what we're going to do. Remember when we did this, Dad, I want to take everybody to this ice cream shop. Like it was all new to him. And Carmen is realizing that as he's tucking her into bed and they're talking, and she is heartbroken. And so he leaves and Carmen just like the dam breaks. And I have not seen her fall apart like this yet at this point. And she is sobbing and it all comes out. She unleashes her complaints of this new daddy. she shares she doesn't like the way he walks, the way he talks, the way he is lacking in every characteristic that she knows. Why she says she doesn't like the way he talks and he walks, because it's different. Like his gait is different now. She doesn't like his voice, his hand gestures, his humor, which at this point, like Michael is still pretty fixated on the same things. Like I shared about his truck obsession. He was also obsessed with like the same little joke, which to kids, they don't have the tolerance for that kind of thing. So Carmen, she was daddy's girl. She is very close to him and they spent a lot of time together and she is missing him, rightly so. And to have her dad come in and like not hold the same things that she does, that issue of memory, right? Like the things that are important to her, their trip together, her dad holding baby Carmen in his lap for a picture, like he doesn't have that anymore. And Carmen is realizing what is broken and what is hard. And she's embarrassed. I mean, she's a preteen and she is embarrassed. She started talking that night about how like she didn't want him to come to her 8th grade graduation. Like, she's in 6th grade at this point, right? And she is thinking of her 8th grade graduation, which I don't even know why that was on her mind, but she was saying, I don't want him there. I'm going to be so embarrassed. And like, that's so harsh to hear, like a one-off, right? But if you can put yourself into her 13-year-old girl shoes, or 12-year-old at that time, like she was embarrassed and she was heartbroken and it felt like dad had died. And here we are on the eve of something really exciting and really special. And it's like, it's tainted. It's crooked. It's backwards. It's broken. Even though we get to go and this is special, like the person who held that memory with her no longer holds it. And so I, as her mom, walk into this heartbreak and I just have to I let her cry. And all I can say is like, I know, I'm so sorry. Like, I get it. It's awful. I hate that for us. I hate that for you. Like, I can't change it. I can't make it better. Of course she misses her dad. I remember her saying, as she was like finally collecting herself, she was like, I want my February 4th dad back, which is the day before. And she said, I regret that I only hugged him on the night of the 5th. And I said, see you later. Like, to know that my daughter has that pain of like, I regret what I did before that person went off. And, I can only imagine that anybody who's lost somebody can recall exactly what they said to that loved one the last time and exactly what they did and hold some bit of guilt over that. And now I don't want her to live in that guilt of only hugging him and saying, see you later. She was communicating that she wished she had grabbed onto him and held him and told him how much she loved him, but she didn't. And like, none of us did. We all have that feeling, Carmen. But just that night before our Chincoteague trip, like was a point in me and Carmen's journey where I was like, oh, wow, they are absolutely not untouched from this tragedy. And we have a long way to go. And wow, she is feeling deeply. And of course, she's feeling this on the night before we go back to a very special place in her heart. And I deal with this type of thing with each of my 3 kids often. Like, this comes up, this grief, this pain of the then and the now is something that I still deal with Carmen Brooks and Rylan and myself. And it totally throws me off. I have a hard day. I usually have hard days. They are jam-packed with stuff. The amount of responsibility on my plate, the things I have to do and need to accomplish in a day are great. And I am exhausted. And then at bedtime, like 9 o'clock at night, 9:30, then I deal with these emotions on top of things, on top of my own. And it's so much. It's so hard. It's so much. And Carmen has given me permission to open up and share this kind of thing with you. She is so brave and has understood that this is just our journey right now. She hates it. She absolutely hates it. But Yeah. And I wanted to make sure I documented this and included this in the podcast because it is something very real, and kids are not immune. Kids are resilient. I do believe that there is still healing on the horizon for her. It might take a very long time, but like pain and heartbreak is so real for our kids. Yeah. So that is all I have for today. No happy way to wrap it up other than stay tuned for more joy and rainbows and sunshine from the Megan Dauber podcast in the next episode. No, for real. I'll tell you how those summer vacations went next time, and I'm grateful for all of you. So I'll see you next time on the podcast.